Hello friend. Welcome to my YouTube channel, and if you are new then like, share, and subscribe my. Not every woman is difficult, and not every relationship challenge is a reason to walk away. Yet many men quietly lose years of their lives, not because they are weak, but because they misunderstand what they are experiencing. They ignore early psychological warning signs, hoping effort alone will fix what awareness could have prevented. This video is not about blaming women or creating conflict. It's about clarity. When men understand relationship psychology, they stop wasting emotional energy, time, and future potential on patterns that were never healthy to begin with. Some dynamics don't explode overnight. They erode slowly through confusion, imbalance, and unspoken resentment. Left unaddressed, these patterns can lead to emotional exhaustion, loss of confidence, and regret that only becomes clear in hindsight. Today we'll break down 7 key psychological insights that help men recognize unhealthy dynamics early, before overinvestment turns into emotional debt. These insights are not about control or manipulation. They are about awareness, boundaries, and better decision-making. This content is educational, balanced, and designed to help you think clearly, choose wisely, and build relationships that support, not drain your life. If you value clarity over confusion, this video is for you. One of the most significant psychological risks in relationships is unresolved emotional trauma. Everyone carries a past, but when emotional wounds are left untreated, they don't disappear. They often resurface through strong reactions, emotional triggers, or unstable behavior that seems confusing on the surface. This is closely connected to attachment style. Attachment style explains how a person experiences closeness, emotional safety, and conflict within intimate relationships. These patterns usually develop early in life and quietly shape how someone bonds as an adult. When attachment patterns are unhealthy, they can appear as fear of abandonment, sudden emotional shifts, or a need to control situations or people. What may look like overreaction is often a protective response learned long ago. Trauma itself is not the problem. Having difficult experiences does not make someone unworthy of love or connection. The real issue arises when healing is avoided and responsibility for emotional regulation is placed on a partner. Healthy relationships require emotional awareness and personal accountability. When healing is prioritized, past wounds lose their power. When healing is avoided, those wounds quietly guide behavior and create instability. Understanding this difference helps men recognize risk early and choose relationships built on emotional balance rather than unresolved pain. Another important sign to observe in relationships is excessive control that is presented as care or concern. This behavior often shows up through constant correction, micromanaging everyday decisions, or subtle instructions about how you should live, think, or act. In the early stages, this may appear nurturing or helpful. It can feel like attentiveness or deep involvement. However, from a psychological perspective, this pattern usually reflects insecurity or unmet emotional needs, rather than genuine partnership. When care turns into supervision, balance begins to disappear. Healthy relationships are built on mutual respect, trust, and autonomy. Each partner is allowed space to be themselves without being managed or monitored. When one partner slowly takes on a parental role, attraction and equality begin to fade. Romantic connection relies on emotional balance, not authority. Over time, the dynamic shifts from partnership to control, and emotional tension replaces closeness. True care supports growth and independence. It does not require constant oversight or correction. Recognizing this pattern early allows men to protect their boundaries and choose relationships that are based on respect rather than control. Awareness of these dynamics helps prevent long-term emotional imbalance and preserves healthy connection. A conflict is a natural and unavoidable part of any relationship. It is not the presence of disagreements that determines the health of a relationship, but rather how those conflicts are managed. One of the most significant warning signs is when unresolved resentment begins to turn into intentional punishment. This can show up as silent treatment, vindictive behavior, or deliberately triggering emotional reactions to hurt the other person. When someone uses a partner's vulnerabilities as tools to gain control or inflict pain, trust is eroded, and emotional safety disappears. Healthy relationships handle conflict openly and constructively. Partners communicate their feelings, listen actively, and work toward resolution without manipulation. Disagreements are approached as shared problems to solve, not weapons to gain power. Unhealthy dynamics, on the other hand, rely on control, retaliation, and subtle or overt emotional games. The longer these patterns continue, the more resentment accumulates, creating a cycle of distrust and tension. Recognizing this early is essential. Awareness allows individuals to protect their emotional well-being and make choices that foster respect, stability, and genuine partnership. Conflict does not have to destroy relationships, but how it is handled makes all the difference. Independence is an admirable strength in any individual. Being self-reliant, confident, and capable is a positive quality that allows people to navigate life with purpose and clarity. However, independence becomes a warning sign when it crosses into emotional isolation. Some individuals struggle to receive support, validation, or partnership. They handle everything alone: decisions, achievements, successes, leaving little room for mutual contribution or shared growth. In such relationships, imbalance quietly emerges. Connection requires more than independence. It requires emotional availability, willingness to listen, and openness to collaboration. When one partner operates entirely in self-centered mode, attraction and intimacy gradually decline. Healthy independence is about being strong while remaining connected. It allows space for support, appreciation, and partnership without losing self-identity. Extreme independence, however, closes off emotional accessibility. It can create distance, misunderstandings, and a sense that one partner is carrying the weight alone. Partnership thrives when both individuals bring strength, accountability, and emotional presence. When independence is balanced with connection, relationships grow richer, deeper, and more fulfilling. Recognizing the difference early can help men protect their emotional energy and choose relationships that are truly reciprocal. An important question every man should ask himself is not just who he chooses to be with, but why he is drawn to certain types of partners. Repeatedly finding oneself attracted to unhealthy relationship dynamics often signals unresolved internal patterns, past experiences, or emotional habits that have not yet been addressed. True awareness begins with accountability. It requires honest self-reflection about your own boundaries, emotional triggers, and attachment style. Understanding how you respond to closeness, conflict, and intimacy allows you to recognize patterns that may unconsciously repeat themselves. Healthy relationships are not formed through emotional chasing or reactive behavior. They are built consciously, with intentionality, respect, and mutual growth. This means choosing partners who align with your values, communicate openly, and honor boundaries, while also examining your own role in maintaining emotional balance. By taking responsibility for your patterns, you protect your time, energy, and emotional well-being. You also create space for meaningful, stable connections where attraction, respect, and intimacy grow naturally. Awareness and intentionality are the foundations of strong relationships. When men ask themselves why and act with clarity, they can break cycles of unhealthy attachment and build partnerships that are truly fulfilling. Choosing a partner is not just a romantic decision, it is a life decision. The person you commit to will influence your emotional health, your focus, your confidence, and the direction of your future. Attraction can open the door, but awareness determines whether you should walk through it. Many men suffer not because they choose badly on purpose, but because they ignore early psychological signals in the hope that love alone will fix everything. It rarely does. You are not responsible for healing someone else's unresolved wounds. You are not here to carry emotional weight that isn't yours. Your responsibility is to build a stable, grounded, and purposeful life, one rooted in clarity, boundaries, and self-respect. When your life has direction, the right people naturally align with it. You don't have to convince, you simply choose. Healthy relationships are invitations, not rescues. They are built when two emotionally aware individuals meet with mutual respect, not when one person sacrifices themselves hoping for change. Awareness protects your time, your energy, and your future far more than attraction ever could. If this video helped you see relationship psychology more clearly, take a moment to support the channel. Like the video, share it with someone who may benefit from this perspective, and subscribe for more awareness-based content. Thank you for watching, and thank you for choosing clarity over confusion.